This mechanism is known as what? Initialization we can call. Orange color I will write. Object initialization we can call. Spell out once. Object initialization. Spell out once again. What do you mean by object initialization? Whenever I create an object, data must be placed automatically without calling which method? That is known as what? Yes, that type of initialization can be done by one special method in Python called what? Constructor. Constructor is also one type of which method? Special method. Spell out. Special method. Special method, normal method. Today, special method, normal method. Your name is equal to our Prime Minister name. Are you special or not? Your name is not equal to Prime Minister name. Are you normal or not? Tell me. What is constructor? మీరు మీ నాలెడ్జ్ ఏం పెట్టాల్సిన అవసరం లే. You look at that. What is the constructor? You read out. నేను చెప్పింది పలకండి అంతే. What is the constructor? Special method. Used for which purpose? No need to use which method? Right. When what we are creating, immediately what I am placing? How I am placing? By using which concept? Constructor. So constructors are used for which purpose? Let me go to it. What is the speciality of constructor? Constructor need not to call explicitly. Instance method calling explicitly or not? Now, constructor need not to call explicitly. Constructor will call during what creation? Object creation. Let me go to that. Immediate example. Immediate example. See that. Now you see. Now you see. Now I will remove this statement. Now I'll say pause. I'll say pause. I'll say constructor example 1. Constructor example 1. Remove this. What is this line is called? Don't look at me, look at on the screen. Object. Right. Do you know internally what is happening? Whenever you open an account in your bank, your account is initialized with 500 rupees or not? Or 1000 rupees or not? What is that is known as account initialization? Account initialization. With how many rupees? 500 or 1000. What do you mean by initialization? Whenever you create an object, place the value inside without calling what? Method. Is called what? Object. Right. Do you know, student, whenever an object is created, PVM, first time I am writing, PVM calls constructor automatically. Calls constructor automatically. Implicitly. For what purpose? For placing our own data without leaving object empty. Without leaving object empty. Do you know, students, objects are always meant for what? Objects are always meant for what? Storing the data. Storing the which data? Our interested data called what? Student. To place my own data, so far what we did, either by using through object I added or through instance method I added. But today what I am saying, don't use object name, don't use instance method. Why? By writing instance method, I need to call the method explicitly by writing one line or not. But here what I am saying, whenever my object is created, internally PVM is automatically or implicitly placing my own data without leaving what? Object empty. Malla rasanu ikkada. Yes, content of S is equal to S dot underscore dictive. Underscore dictive. See, students, constructor example 1.py. Constructor example 1.py. See students, py empty. Now, today I am going for constructor beginning. Constructor is also one special method I told you. Did you remember? Which keyword is used to define a method? DEF. What is the name of the method? Any function name I can write it, correct or not? But in the case of constructor, always you need to write underscore underscore init underscore underscore of self, you need to write it. Underscore it is a special method. You cannot add your own meaning. Is it looking like a special compared to our method names or not? You look at, see, read stud values. It is a normal method. This method is what? Special. It is looking like a special. Whether you write or I will write, it is always looking like same only. Always you need to write like that. I will write it. Print. I am from constructor. Just one message I am writing. Otherwise, don't worry about it. What is this line is called? When an object is created, PVM calls what? Do you have constructor here? Yes. Automatically or implicitly. That means I am not calling anything with object name or something. And it will place our own data without leaving what? Of course, I did not write anything. Only some message is there. Execute it. Come on, once again. What is this line creation? Automatically PVM goes to which class? Student class. Looking for what? Constructor. Do you have constructor here? Yes, this message will print. Am I calling explicitly here? No. So constructor is calling during object creation. Am I calling constructor explicitly? How it is calling? Implicitly, automatically. Who is calling? During what creation? Let us run this example. See the answer. I am from where? Constructor. Beautiful. Come on to the point back. Come on to the point back. Inside of it, now I am writing. Write this bracket. Write this code. See how beautiful it is. I will write it directly here. Yes, self dot SNO is equal to 10. Self dot S name is equal to what I am writing? Lalit. I am writing Lalit. S dot self dot what? Marks is equal to 45.66. What is this data? Initializing my object. During which creation? What is this line is called? Constructor. Spell out. Are you how it is different from methods? Methods will have our own valid name. This constructor is always having this name or not? Is it a special method or normal method? Which is automatically called by whom? PVM. During what creation? Whose purpose is what? To initialize my object. Initializing the object is nothing but what? Placing our own data. Placing our own data without leaving. Come on, call. What this line is called? PVM goes to where? Student class. Looking for what? Is it there? Will it execute? Is it placing my data inside of S or not? Is my S is empty or non-empty? So which is going to print empty or non-empty? So look at that. How beautiful subject it is. See my dear student. I am constructor. Immediately placing the data. Non-constructor example you see. Non-constructor example. First time empty. Later I need to enter the data. Later I need to enter the data. So I'm entering like this. Then only it is filled. Empty is replaced with this. But here directly placing my own data or not. So which approach is good? Constructor approach. Once again I will carry. Once again I will carry. See that I will read the data from the keyboard there also. Go to the place. I will write these statements under this constructor. See students, I am writing this part. Start. What is this line is called? PVM calls automatically. It goes to which class? Looking for and it is asking to enter the data or not. As try to run this example 2.py, reading dynamic data, see py, see that, see number is called 100, say something like Johar, and say something like 33.33. Am I getting directly data or not? Earlier one is called what? Empty. Now it is placing my own data or not? So placing the data inside the object without leaving empty is called what? Initialization. Object initialization. Who will initialize the object? Constructor. Who will call the constructor? PVM. During what creation? Object creation. Is the constructors are calling implicitly or explicitly? Implicitly. During what creation? Right. Coming to the point back. Now I am going to conclude. What is the definition of constructor? Quickly. A constructor is one of the special method. A constructor is one of the special method which is automatically or implicitly called by the PVM during what creation? Object creation, whose role is to place our own data without leaving the object empty. The purpose of constructor's concept is to initialize the object. To initialize on Lepunan, a pillar, stand up on spits. Stand up, stand up. What is the definition of constructor? Don't fold the hands. What are you doing? Mobile? మరి వినొచ్చు కదా class? What are you doing, ma? Tell me clearly. Huh? Sleeping. Why? Not feeling well? Why? Fever? మరి రెస్ట్ తీసుకోవచ్చు కదా, వినొచ్చు కదా, విను, కూర్చో మరి. సో రియల్లీ నాట్ ఫీలింగ్ వెల్ ఆర్ ఎనీథింగ్? విను మరి క్లాస్. నిద్రపోవడానికి హాస్టల్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో ఎనఫ్ నా. And very close you are sitting to all. Fever is there and sitting very close. So you are saying I am believing, but I don't know whether it is correct or not. Try to listen it. When you are not feeling well, take rest in the hostel only. Sleeping here and hostel, both of them same now. Then why do come here? So coming to the point of it. Start. What is the purpose of constructor? To initialize the object. Initializing the object is nothing but placing our own data without leaving object empty. What is the definition of constructor? A constructor is one of the special method, okay, which is automatically or implicitly called by PVM during what creation, and whose purpose is to place our own data without placing object empty, without leaving object empty. That is the purpose of what? Constructor and definition. Can I go next? Next. I'll go for one more. Look at one more point I want to say. You look at this part. This constructor you see, it is taking what? Self. What is an object is created? S1. Go to next. One more point I am saying. Of course, I will introduce. Slowly I am introducing everything. Try to get it. Now I am writing. This is S1. I am decided to pass 10 comma 10 comma. I am passing something like a row sum. See that. First time I am passing the data through object creation. That means I want to place 10 in where? S1. Row sum in where? S1. So what is this is nothing but object creation. How many values you are passing? What is this line of line is called? Object creation. Object creation means go to where? Constructor. Already told you. Here self I will write it, comma, SNO, comma, what I will write? So 10 is stored in where? Row sum is stored in where? Right, self contains reference of what? S1. Understand? Well, I am writing here, what I will write it? SNO I am assigning to the self-related value. And next I am going to write it to S name. And I am writing called what here? Marks you want, you take marks, otherwise you remove that. Now I am going to print it. Print of what? Content of what? S1 is equal to comma S1 dot underscore dict of. Take care. I am going to write 3.py. 3.py. Now, coming to the point back, execute once. Py, constructor example 3. Is the data coming or not? One more. S2 is equal to student of 20 comma Travis. One more person I am writing. What is this line also? Object creation. Whenever the second object created, again going to where? Class. Looking for what? 20 stored in where? Travis stored in where? S2 reference stored in where? Self. Can I write my own name here? Yes. Execute it. Again, second object also created. What happens here? S2. Print. Yes. I need to print it. Content of what? S2. S2 dot. Yes. Again, it is printed. I am from constructor. This is the data. Second object also initialized. First object initialized with this data. Second object initialized with this data. Last and final. I am going to take it. S3 is equal to. I am taking 30. Now I am taking something like Dennis. Now I am writing S3. Same S3. Third object also initialized. Am I correct? Now you look at this constructor is taking some formal parameters or not. This constructor is known as what? Parameterized constructor. Spell out. Right. Parameterized. You look at the previous one. This constructor is not taking any formal parameter except self, which is known as what? Default constructor. Why? How can I recognize it is a default? Underscore init underscore of what? Self. Here underscore init underscore self comma some formal parameters, which is known as what? And this is known as which constructor? This one. Which constructor? Right. This constructor is also called what? How many types of constructors? One is and good. Now I will go to my index. Now I will start writing constructor. I will write it. Shall I start writing constructors here? Right. Take care, students. Now I am going to write it. Follow me carefully. Come on, all of you. The purpose of constructors in Python is that to initialize the object. Now I will write up. Initializing the object is nothing but what? Come on, students. Placing our own data in where? Object without leaving object empty. Without leaving object empty. Now I am writing. This is a compulsory question. Who will initialize the object? Constructor. Definition of constructor, I will go for it. Definition of constructor I am going to introduce. Actually, by this time you need to tell definition of constructor. You only need to tell to me. Constructor is a normal method or special method? Okay. Are you calling or implicitly calling? During what time? Combine everything and then tell. You know good English now. A constructor is one of the is one of the special method. Okay. Which is automatically or what? Implicitly. Automatically or what? Implicitly. Called by PVM during, very good, object creation, and whose purpose is to initialize the object. Whose purpose is to initialize the, that's all. Don't add your own English to my definition. Because if you add your own English now, it will become something. That's why, because I will fear with your English first of all. That's why be careful. Try to add your technical words. Once again, a constructor is one of the normal method or special method. How can you understand? Underscore init underscore of. It is a special now. Read values is a normal method. This is a special method. That's why. And is this normal method need to call automatic or calling automatically, or we need to call? But it is calling what it is during what creation? What it is doing? Right. Tell me, go to my blueprint once. Why do you use constructor? To initialize. Good. Methods are what purpose? Operation purpose. So first you do operation, first you will initialize. If I want to call my friend, first your mobile must be initialized with contact list or not. So initialization first, operation first. Initialization first. Who will initialize? Constructor. Who will do operations? Methods. Then inside the class, what is required? Constructor required, methods required. To initialize the data members, I require data members also to be written or not? That too. Which data members I will initialize inside the constructors? Instance data members only, because object initialization. Who will contain object? Instance data member. Did you understand? So, object initialization means inside the constructor we will initialize only what? Instance data members. Did you understand? Now I will move to further. Now I am writing. Now I am asking, what is the difference between constructor and a method? Method name can be anything. Method name can be anything. But constructor name can be underscore init underscore of self. Predefined method. Malla. So it is not a predefined method. Underscore is not a predefined method. No. It is wrong. Wrong. Right. Now I'll come to that. Predefined method, Malla, if I talk to that, it will go other way around. It is not a integer keyword, class name. Class name. Can I give my own value to int? A doubt to me. Can I give my own value? Integer predefined, programmer defined? Predefined. Are we giving our own value or not? So constructor is a predefined, our own value we are giving own value. So inside of the semantics of the Python, it is named like that. It is named like that. Did you understand? So it is not a predefined. Predefined means already some code is there, but no code is present inside. Print is there. It is a predefined function. Are you writing code of your own thing inside the print function? That is predefined function. In the constructor, you are defining your own code now. Is it predefined? No, it is a pre-specified. It is when the object is calling, that method is calling. It is not a predefined. It is a pre-specified. Okay, don't use your own. If you use your own language, the meaning will change completely. That's what I'm saying. It's my request. Don't use that. So if other faculty, if it is predefined, they will say, predefined, he will say, to passivate him. You will say that, sir said that predefined. You will go to interview tomorrow. You will say that predefined. That interview will say that you are wrong. And you will look at where is my sir. Sir is not there in all the directions. Today only if I say wrong, you will be alert. Why that word I will say on the face? Because tomorrow your success is in interviews. Understand? That's why I will speak only facts. I never speak hidden points. Facts I will speak in front of you. Okay, now, while now I will go to the properties. Students in online, did you understand up to here? Now I am entering into further. Online students, did you understand up to here? Well, what is the purpose of constructor? Initializing the object. Constructor is calling during what? Object creation. Who will call constructor? During what time? What constructor will do? Object initialization. Initialization కాదు. Object initialization. Of knowledge more dangerous. U equal to RMP doctor. RMP doctor will do the operation by knowing, not knowing. After entering into operation theater, you will get a doubt. Shall I cut like this or shall I cut like this? You will cut something like that. What is there? Garbage collector will collect away. Don't learn RMP treatment. You learn master treatment. Are you masters or RMP? So desire is there, but working is not there. So come to the point of it, right? RMP doctor meaning. Okay, even I don't know what is this RMP. Everybody saying RMP, RMP, we are also saying. Okay, ma, Kalash, I don't know, ma'am, my dear student. But RMP doctor will take the bag and he will visit all the doors. If you are a powerful doctor, you will keep one hospital and everybody will come to you. That is one difference I know, but I don't know full form. We'll check it out in the internet. Come to the point of it. Definition of what? Constructor. What is the difference? Now I'm coming to. So my student diverted me by speaking something in the middle. That's why I'm going to. Because he's our favorite student in the class. Okay. Because then only you will get the subject. Right or not? Don't start speaking every day like that. Come to the point. Okay, Bharat Reddy already checked. Registered medical practitioner. Okay. He's a practitioner. Not already completed. He's a practitioner. On patients he is practicing. So that's why. Okay, Bharat. Okay, done. Because they already searched in the internet. Good, good. Now let me come to the point. What is the difference between constructor and method? Constructors will initialize the object. Methods will perform the operations on initialized data. Correct? Next. Constructors will call implicitly during what creation? Object creation. Methods will call explicitly either by using object name or class name or CLS or self. Static methods calling, instance method calling, class level method calling. Correct? Yes. Next point. I'll be going for rules or properties. Very, very important. Rules or properties of what? Constructor. Rules or properties of constructors. Very, very important points. Now I'm going to say. Okay, ma'am. Farooq. No, don't worry. Just I'm joking. So, because I don't know even full form of it. At least you know the full form. You are good than me. So no doubt in that. Don't worry. Just I'm joking. Now coming to the point of rules for what? Rules or properties of constructor. Now I'm going to say. First rule. Come on. The name of the constructor is DE of underscore init underscore of self dot close. Why the dot? Formal. Okay. And before that, I will write one syntax, ma'am. Syntax for defining constructor. Syntax for defining constructor. Right? Very frequently asked questions about the constructor. Tell me students, DEF underscore underscore init underscore underscore of self, comma what? List of formal params, if any, if any. And I will write inside what statements? Block of statements. What is that? Block of statements performs what? Initialization. Performs what? If it is a method, I will write what? Performs operation. If it is a constructor, I will write what? Initialization. Only self, if I write it, it is known as which constructor? Default constructor. If I write a self along with a list of formal parameters, it is called right. Last student. Stand up once. Last. Stand up. Only self is taking, it is known as which constructor? Only self is taking, it is called which constructor? Only self taking along with list of formal parameters, it is called which constructor? Don't read their answers. Come here. Come to hot seat once. Read more. Listen the class. Only self is taking, sit here. Only self is taking is called which constructor? Okay, sit along with him. Only taking self is called which constructor? Default. Already shown you now. Only self is taking which constructor? And self along with the parameters taking is which constructor? Right, stand up once again. Syntax. Only self is taking which constructor? Default. Self along with formal parameters is which constructor? How many constructors? Two. One is default. Right. అక్కడ కూర్చుంటే ఏమయ్యేది రాదు. ఓకేనా? Sit down. How many constructors? Two types. One is default parameterized. Some of them not speaking. I'll come to you. అందరు ఇక్కడ I will call all of them to hot seat. Take care. Backside students. Coming to the next point, I'm going to come to this point. Here I'm writing. After that, come to the rules now. Rules property. The name of the constructor is always what? DEF underscore underscore init self. I can write some list of formal parameters. Next property is constructors will call automatically or what? Implicitly when an object is created. Are you able to follow? Constructor will call automatically or implicitly when an object is created. Are you able to follow, students? Well, next I am going to talk about the next point. What is the next point I am talking? The constructor will not return any value. Constructor job is what? Dump the values, initialize the object. Method purpose is to perform the operation. When operation is coming, I will return the result also now. How many ways are there to return my result? Returning single value, returning multiple values at a time. You know that, right? Returning one value, returning more than one value, also I can return it. I told already in the class. If a return statement returns 3 values, I can hold that values in the multi-line assignment function call. I can hold the 3 values, 4 values in a single object. That single object is of type tuple. Long ago in the functions. Do you remember? Right. Now, constructor will call automatically or implicitly when an object is created. Now, constructors, and you have seen already this point practically. This point also you have seen practically. Now, have you seen this point practically? Are we? No. Are we calling the constructor explicitly? No, during the object creation only we are calling which constructor? You see, what is this line is called? Calling which constructor? This is nothing but object created, constructor calling. Object created, constructor calling, right or not? Yes. So this point you are seeing. Constructors will call automatically or implicitly when an object is right. Constructors will not return any value. Constructor will not return any value except none type value. Except none type. Except none, I will write. That means constructor can return what? None. None is nothing but what? Empty. Nothing. Come to the point back. You just check it out. Here you go for it. You want to do that. Okay. Wherever, whichever constructor you like it, you take it. Here I am writing return 10 unton. Return 10. Where I am writing return statement, my dear students? Inside the constructor. My file name is constructor example 3. Take care, students. Execute and see that init should return not int. That means I am returning which value? Now I am writing 3, 4. Error. What is it? Should return what? None, but not float. Last and final. I am writing KVR here. Error will come. What is it? Should return none, not str. I will write what here next? None. No problem. Output will come. Is output is coming or not? Writing none is nothing but not writing none is nothing but nothing to write. Writing return none is nothing but nothing to write. Understand my point or not? So go to the point back. Constructor will not return any value except none. Did you understand? Constructors are calling automatically or implicitly when an object is right. Name of the constructor is always like this. The entire story says that to initialize the object, I will define a constructor. To perform the operation, I will define the method. Understand? Good. Next, I am writing one beautiful point. I am writing that point I am not showing at present because our next concept I am entering. Constructors can participate in inheritance process. Can participate in where? Inheritance process. In Java, I will write this word. In Python antanadi. In Python, constructors can participate in inheritance process. When you come to Java programming never makes the constructors to participate in inheritance. Understand? So constructors never participates in inheritance in which language? Java. In Python, constructors can participate in inheritance. Because Java programmers these days, when they are migrating to Python, they are asking these questions. Will the constructors participate in Python? Yes. They will ask you to show the code also. Yes, I will show you. Where I am explaining? In the inheritance. In the inheritance, I am going to show you. When you go back to that point where I am going to explain, students, if when you come to this place, I am going to show you. When you come to oops, I am going to show you inheritance. In that, I am going to show you lot of points. So there I am going to explain single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, so many inheritances with coding and all those things I will explain. Okay, now don't worry about it. I will explain. In this point, I will cover in the inheritance process. Even if you forget it, I will explain in the class. Next, let me write it. In Python, there is one beautiful concept is there in Python programming. We call it as what? Method overriding. Spell out once. In Java also method overriding is there. Method overloading is also there. Right? And why method overloading? Why method overriding? Nobody knows. So method overloading and method overriding is going to come. This concept also I will explain in connection with the polymorphism. Okay now? So in this case, what I mean to say, it is not only method overriding, Constructor overriding is also possible. In Python programming, constructors can be overridden. Constructors can be overridden. I will explain this type of programming in the class. Actually, in Java programming, constructors cannot be overridden. Constructors can be overloaded. In Python programming, constructors can be overridden, but cannot be overloaded. And Java not necessary. Nobody will ask what is the difference between Java and Python. Nobody will ask. I am telling to you because as a Java trainer previously before Python, I am saying that. Still Java is running in my mind. So coming to the point of it, constructors can be overridden. Did you understand? These 4 and 5 points I will explain in the inheritance. Right now, don't worry about the inheritance. How many properties are there? 5. Everybody will ask you what are the properties of constructor. Name of the constructor, automatic calling, not returning any value, participation in inheritance, method overriding, participation. These are the 5 properties of what? Constructors. Did you understand? Now I am going for types of constructors. Students in online, did you understand the properties? Now I am going to introduce what? Types of constructors. Take care, students. Now I am going for types of constructors in Python. Types of constructors in Python. What is the need of each constructor? I will explain. Online students, not responding all of them. Only few of them are responding. Are you there or not? So, are you there or not? Everybody must respond it. So, 255 students are there. Not at all responding everybody. So, maybe busy with eating snacks. I hope so. Am I correct? Students in online, correct? Huh? No. So, yes. So, definitely one student is eating snacks. Who is that? So, Mohan Sai is eating snacks. Yes. So, fine. Okay. Who is that? Srinivas Reddy. I am also. Okay. Sanjay Rani is also eating sweets, snacks. That's why they are saying how SAR can find out that. With my Divya Drushti, I can find out what are you doing. Okay, students, come to that. Generally, I used to see sometimes, yeah, see Nayak also eating, Rahul Roy also eating. Many of them are eating. Very good students. When 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. class is started, today I have seen it. And generally I used to see 9 a.m. class started. And it's really, I felt very happy. Affectionate mother and feeding the child. What? Some, what is that curry? I don't know. I have seen only that chapati I have seen. And making her to eat. And she's saying, I don't want. After eating sometime, she's saying, no, no. She's saying, forcefully feeding. How mothers are feeding the childs? Are you utilizing that energy in reading Python notes? No. So, coming to the point of it, that's why students fulfill the dreams of the parents. Correct? Yes. Am I correct? Please take care. Now I'm coming to the types of constructors. In Python programming, we have 2 types of constructors. What is the purpose of each of them? I will go for it. 2 types of what? Constructors. They are, what is the first one? Default. Default. It is also known as what? Default or parameterless constructor. Parameterless constructor. Right. Parameterless constructor. Okay. Second one is called what? Parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor. Now I want to talk about default constructor. I will talk. Syntax I will explain. Its purpose also I will explain. Definition also I will explain. Look at that. Default constructor. Parameterized constructor. I'll go for it. Now followed by example. Similarly, I will go for what, students? I'll go for next parameterized constructor also. I will go for it. Finally, I will give you one beautiful conclusion. Are you remembering parameter passing mechanisms? Not remembering. Okay, I'll ask at certain point. Be careful. Definition I will talk. Functionality I will talk. Syntax followed by program. Go to Paint. Look at students, all of you. My requirement today is I want to create, I'm taking one problem statement. All of you must follow. I want to create an object T1. I want to create an object T2. I want to create an object T3. Just look at this problem now. I want to create 3 objects. T1 is an object. T2 is an object. T3 is an object. T3 is an object. In T1, I will say here, I want A, I want B. B. Here also A and then B. B. Here also A and then here also B. By looking at these lines, you tell me what are AB? What are AB? If you don't answer, you are waste. What are AB? Data members. Anything else? Correct answer? Instance data members. Data members kaadu. What is that? Right. Instance data members. Why instance data members? They are available with what? Object. Suppose I am taking something like this. There is something like called X, which is going to be like this. What is X is called? Class level data member, because it is a common for all the objects or not. And this AB are available with the object. Any data member available with the object known as what? Object level data members are instance data member. What are AB? Right. My requirement today is I want to place value called what? 1020. Spell out. In T2 also, I want to place the value called what? 1020. First object also same content. Second object also same content. Third object also same content. That means all these objects are what? Which type of objects? These are all called test class type objects. Which type objects? Test class type objects. So I'm writing the name of the class is test. How many objects I am creating? Multiple objects I am creating or not? With what values? What values? Same values. I am initializing, I will write it. Initializing what objects? Multiple objects. Which objects? Multiple objects. With what values? Same values. This type of operation can be done by one concept called what? Default constructor. Spell out. Default constructor. Default constructor. How do you do this, sir? Coding part you tell me, sir. Easy, sir. Let me write the coding here. Now I am writing the coding now. Follow me carefully. Now I am writing. Please create an object T1 now. Create the object T1. Come on. T1 is equal to what? Test of. Next object, please. T2 is equal to what? Test of. T2 is equal to test of. Okay. Next another object, please. T3 is equal to what? Test of. Test of. See, students, by looking at this object creation style itself, you can understand immediately which constructor will call. T1 is equal to test of what? 10, 200. What is this values I am passing or not? Because of this, which constructor is calling? Parameterized. Because of this object creation, which constructor is calling? Default constructor. Now define the class. What is my class name here? Yes, I forget the constructor. Please tell me. Underscore init underscore of self. Can I write any formal parameters there? No. Come on, what is the data member to be taken? Self dot A is equal to 10. Self dot B is equal to 20. Very easy. Start. What is this line is called? Object creation. Going to which class? Looking for what? Is it taking any parameters here? It is known as which constructor? Also called as parameterless constructor. Parameterless. No parameters are used. Except what? Which is known as which constructor? What is the definition of default constructor? A default constructor never takes any formal parameters except self. In other words, a full-fledged definition. A constructor is said to be a default constructor if and only if which never takes any formal parameters except what? Self. The purpose of default constructor is to initialize multiple objects with what values? That's all. Shall I write it now? Go to point back. I'll come to parameterized constructor also. Now definition I am writing. A constructor, a default constructor or parameterless constructor is one which never takes any formal parameters, except self. Self is the keyword. No, taking blue letter. Is it like that? No. Self is not a, what is it? Implicit object which contains a reference of our object. Good. Now, purpose. The purpose of which constructor? Default constructor or parameterless constructor is that to initialize what? Multiple objects with same values of multiple objects of what class? Multiple objects of what class? Same class with the same values is called what? Purpose. Well, come to the syntax. See students, syntax for default constructor. Tell me students, de of underscore init of what? Self. I will write it block of statements. So block of statements. Doing what? Performs which process? Initialization process. Understand students? Well, can I return any type of value from here? No. What value it can return? None. None is a value of which type? None type. Well, now I will write example here. I will write an example. Go to the program once. Go to the program now. Others and say Python here. Program for demonstrating, careful students, which constructor? Default constructor. Class test. Def underscore init underscore of self. Print of I am from which constructor? Default constructor. Okay. Default constructor. Okay. Now I am writing self dot A is equal to 10, self dot B is equal to 20. I will print the data immediately. A is equal to \t, B is equal to dot format of what? Self dot A comma self dot B. Okay. Now I will write it. Come to what? Main program. My dear students, 1 minute. Default constructor example1.py. Okay. Save this code. See. Out of that, you see, will it execute or not? It will not execute at all because object creation is not there. Okay, students, execute. Py, see, no output is coming. Class is important, but object creation is also important. Only object creation will not do anything. T1 is equal to what? Test of. Suppose if I don't write my class test of, if I don't write this, you'll get what error? Name error. Name error. Test is not defined, name error. So, first class object class. Later what we create? Yes. What is this line is called? Object calls default constructor. Constructor కాదు అని చెప్పాను సరే. Default constructor. You are perfect in subject now. Why are you saying constructor? Which constructor? How can I recognize it is the default constructor? No data passing. It is nothing but which constructor? Execute. Answer is coming. I am from default constructor, value coming or not? Yes. Easy. One backslash t. See that value of a b. Printed or not? Next. I'll take one more object t2. Next I will take one more t3. Execute. See that. How many times calling? 3 times. Are you following me? Good. Coming to the point of it, this is comes under which type of constructor? Right. This I will paste it in my line of example. I'll write it. I'll paste it. This is called one default constructor example. Let me go to the parameterized constructor. I will go for the parameterized constructor. Another scenario. My concept in today's class is easy. I am bringing this entire thing. I'll bring this entire thing up to here. Up to here I will bring it. Okay. Here I will go for this. Fine, students. Look at. I am going to remove this part. I am going to remove this part. I am going to remove this value. Okay, let it be. I'll remove this data. Okay. I'll remove this data. I'll remove this data. Take care. Now I am removing this. So I am saying this. Now come on here. How many objects I am having? 3 objects. Here I want to place the value called what? 100. Here I am placing the value called what? Here I am placing the value 1000 or 1. Here I am placing the value called what? 2. What did you understand? Initializing multiple objects with what? Which values I forget? Different values. Different values we are saying. Of which class? Same class. Which is the concept? Parameterized constructor. What is that? Good. Why do you go for parameterized constructor? To initialize multiple objects of same class with what values? Default constructor I will go for initializing multiple objects of same class with which values? Good. Come on to the point to the programming. T1 is equal to test of 1020. Which constructor? Which constructor? Good. Next I will go for which constructor? Parameterized constructor for T2. For T2 I am going to write it. Are you following me? T2. Tell me, I forget. T2 is equal to test of 100, 200. Well, next T3 please. T3 is equal to test of 1, 2. These are all called which constructors? Okay. Go to the class. Need to define the class or not? Yes, please. Class test. Class test. Okay. Come on. DEF underscore init underscore of self A comma B. B comma. A comma B comma C comma D. If I go on writing, it will take 24 hours. A comma B na? Yes. Why A comma B? Because I am passing how many values? T1 reference is stored in where? Self. 10 is stored in where? 20 is stored in where? If I write C error, Why error? Positional arguments. 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3. But 3 is not receiving the value. When 3 people go for function, the relatives give first one gift, second one gift, third person not received gift. Third person will get angry or not? Python also will give angry. Okay, don't tell this example. Come on to the point. Come on, say self dot A is equal to A. Self dot A is equal to A. Come on. Self dot B is equal to B. And print the value of AB. Are you following me? Yes. Come on. What is the first object initialized with? 1020. When you are calling this A value, how much? 1020. Assigned to this AB, getting this values or not? Next time when I am calling this line, it is going to this place, and what is the value of AB? And initializing this, and this is the values coming or not? And next is coming something like what, these values are coming, and then this statement and going to this place. What is this AB? 1, 2. 1, 2 is coming here or not? Yes. Go to the program. What is this constructor is known as your? Which constructor? Taking parameters or not? Right. Along with what? Self. So what is the parameters constructor definition? It takes formal parameters after self. Understand? Go to the definition. Go to the definition. I will take this. I'll call this. Instead of typing, I'll use it. Parameterized constructor. A constructor is said to be parameterized constructor. A parameterized constructor is one which always takes, come on, formal parameters after self. After what is self? Self is an implicit object used as a first formal parameter in the instance method, used as a first formal parameter in the constructor. Self can be used in the context of constructor body as well as method body. Self cannot be used in other part of the program because it is a formal parameter. Understand? And dear students, inside the constructor I am specifying what? Instance data members. So instance data members can be specified in how many ways? I'll open my data members, go to oops, classes, types of data members once, and observe it. Instance data members can be specified in how many ways? One is by using, one more by using instance method, one more by using. So today you are getting constructor also now? Yes. So through constructor also we specified. This is called a default constructor specified data members. Now I am coming to the program for parameterized constructor. Is it clear? First of all, syntax definition is done. The purpose of a parameterized constructor is that to initialize multiple objects of same class with different values. With what values? Yes. Syntax please. DE of underscore init underscore self comma list of formal params. Understand? Right. And the block of statements performs what? Initialization. Easy or difficult? Easy. Go for example. Example, I will go for it. Let me prepare the example. Let me copy this. I'll go to this. Here I will take it. Others and say here writing like this. What constructor it is? Parameterized constructor example 1. Parameterized constructor example 1. I am writing here parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor example 1.py. I am from which constructor? Parameterized constructor. I am from parameterized constructor. Done. Come on, what I am writing? A comma B. Not necessary to take A comma B. Anything I can take K comma V. K I will take, V I will take. Come on, pass the value here 1020. I will take 100, 200, 1, 2, or 1000 and 2000. Anything. Which constructor I am calling? Ma? Parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor I am going to take it. Parameterized constructor I am going to take it. Object creation, parameterized constructor. Are you following me? Yes. Simple. Run this code. Run this code. Save this. Out of that, coming to this area, run it. Py, A value, B value are completely different or? Tell me, how do you initialize multiple objects with same values? Default constructor. How do you initialize multiple objects with different values? Why do you use constructors? To initialize the object, either with same values or with, that's all. Constructor total point is to initialize the object. Methods are meant for performing operation. And these are all called divisions. Shall I go to further? Yes. I will copy these things. Online students, please confirm quickly. Are you okay up to here? Come on, students. Now, one most wonderful point I am writing. Most important point I am going to write it. Ready to understand? Yes. Now, see students, coming to this point, I am going to say, okay, the point to remember here is something like this. Now I am going to take up like this. Here, I am going to take up something like this. When we are writing this type of constructor, which constructor I wrote it here? What constructor it is? Parameterized. What constructor this is? Parameterized. Which constructor this one is? Default. One is default, one more is okay. Now take care. I am going to take up. Listen, everybody. I am going to write it. Test T1 is equal to new test of, like this I wrote it. What constructor it is? Default. What constructor this one is? Come on. Okay. Whenever you call this, what constructor is calling? Will go to which class? Looking for what? Huh? Constructor. Which constructor? Do you have default constructor here? Need to define, need not to define. For every method call, what is required? For every method call, what is required? Method definition. This is called constructor call or not? Object creation calling which constructor? Calls what? Default constructor. Do you have default constructor here? No. Need to define, need not to define. Need to define. What is this constructor? Go to which class? Need to define, need not to define. Already it is there. Need to define, but it is already there. Need not to define now because it is already there. Now I will define which constructor. Come on, define. DEF underscore init underscore of what? Self. Okay. I am writing this constructor. Okay. I am writing this part here. I am pasting. Okay now? What is this constructor is called? Default. This is called default. This is called which constructor? Parameterized. Tell me, what is an answer is coming because of that? Come on. 10, 20. Okay, or otherwise I will take 1 and 2. Okay now? 1 and 2. What is an answer because of 16th line? 1, 2. Because of 17th line, what is an answer? 10, So answer is what? A1, B2, next A10, B20. Is it your answer or not? Yes, it is called blunder. After I said, you are saying error. Who said error? Good. Good student. Who said error? Very good. What error it is? What error it is? Where I said this point? I said in the methods, functions. Same method name with different parameters. One parameter, two parameters, three parameters, four parameters. In variable length arguments concept, I said, it will give the preference for latest function only. It will give you type error. Which error? Long ago, there is one program. మీకు చూపిస్తాను అది. మీకు తప్పకుండా చూపియాలి అది. Because you should realize your mistakes. So, గౌతమ బుద్ధుడు ఒకసారి తపస్సు చేస్తాడు. Right. Come to the point of it. Come to the point of it. What is the topic name here? Functions. Observe it. Here I am writing variable arguments example. Variable arguments example. You see, this program will not execute as it is because Python interpreter can remember only what? Latest function. I am using these many functions. It is not going to execute at all. I just already explained. So here in this case, to avoid this kind of problem, we solved that in different way. Now coming to this, listen now. So you are already out of order, listen now. So this will give you error. Parameterized constructor as well as what? Default constructor. Default constructor. Example we are going to talk. Save this code. Out of that, execute. Py. See that? I am writing error is coming. Of course, it is not saved. It is saved in some different place, different location. Save as. Go to your location. 6 p.m. Under where? I will go to this place. Under class, under constructor. I'll just save it. Go to this place and then save it. Py and see this error. Which error? Because when it is tracing, it is remembering, it is coming to this place. It remembering two parameters only it is remembering. When it comes to this line, it is expecting which constructor? But it will come to this place only because it remember the latest constructor. It will not remember this. That's why error is coming. Are you following? If I change the order, what it remember? Default only. You will get 16th line executed, 17th line problem will come. So 17th line problem is coming. This line problem. First constructor executed. This line is a problem. Did you remember? How do you avoid this problem? First of all, are you understanding this? That indicates in a single class, one cannot write both default and parameterized constructors. That is the point I want to bring it. Interviewer, I will ask a question. Can I define both the constructors in the same class? Not possible. Not possible. We can't define both the default and parameterized constructors like other languages of OOPS. Because Python is an interpreter language. It remember only latest function only. It can latest constructor only. Then how can I achieve this goal? What goal? Default I want to execute plus parameterized also I want to execute. That time I will go for what? Default parameters I will take. What is my default constructor aim actually? Placing what value? 1 and 2. I will remove that. I will achieve. How I am achieving? You see students? K is equal to 1. V is equal to 2. It is acting as what? Default and C. I am writing A is equal to K and B is equal to V. First time you are calling this. Where it is going? It is going to this place. Only self is there and not passing anything. What is the default values taken? Assigned or not? What is the value of T1? 1 and 2. Next one you see 10, 20 going to this place. What is the value of K? What is the value of V? Assign 10, 20 for T2 or not? Execute. Now execute. See this. Output you see. Am I getting both the constructors or not? So here I am getting not only parameterized, I can write a default also. I am getting default also. Am I getting both the tasks or not? So how can I implement that? We can't define both the constructors at a time in the class. To achieve both of them, we must use the concept of what? Default parameters, which we already discussed in our classes. So I will just would like to bring that concept. I would like to just bring that concept, students. I would like to take it, constructors here, and I would like to take up one small point I want to bring from there. Last point I want to bring it. So I just want to bring the last point. In this place, I want to paste it. You just observe it. In my guideline spot, I'm writing. Start reading. In a class of Python, we can't define both default and parameterized constructors because PVM can remember only latest constructor due to its interpretation process. To fulfill the need of both default and parameterized constructor, we define a single constructor with a default parameter mechanism. I will bring the example. I'll bring the example. Did you understand this example? Yes. So from here and after, if anybody asks you, can I define both the constructors at a time? Yes. With which concept we are using? Yes. So go to the index, purpose of constructor, definition of constructor, syntax for defining constructor, rules, types of constructors, whose examples. This is about what? Constructor. Tomorrow class when I come back, I will introduce the another mechanism called what? Destructor I will explain. With that complete meaning of what will be done? Class. So don't miss tomorrow class, important. Okay students? Right. Thank you. Take care.